30th January को US Department of Justice released its latest batch of Epstein files. इसमें 3.5 million पेजेस, 180,000 images and 2,000 वीडियोस थी. बट हम इसकी बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because उसमें BTC और Bitcoin was mentioned more than 1,500 times. दूसरे क्रिप्टो रिलेटेड मेंशंस वो मोर देन 400 टाइम्स. एंड इस सब के बाद रूमर शुरू हो गए कि कहीं जेफरी एप्स्टीन ही तो साटोशी नाकामोटो नहीं है. हमें ऐसा लगता तो नहीं है, बट वील बी डिबंकिंग दिस एंड अ लॉट मोर. आई हैव क्रिप्टो डैडी विद मी, आई हैव रियलिस्ट विद मी एंड आई हैव नरकुंडी विद मी. दिस इज द बाप्स ऑफ क्रिप्टो पॉडकास्ट. लेट्स गो. क्यों भाई नरकुंडी, जेफरी एप्स्टीन ही तो नाकामोटो नहीं है? बता दे.
पहले उससे ये पूछ के है how was the island. First you have to ask him that.
कौन सा आइलैंड?
मैं चाइल्डहुड डिप्रेशन ट्रॉमा है उस वजह से ब्रो.
नहीं डेनिस रॉडमैन मिला था सतोशी से, सो वी डोंट नो. वो कहता ना आई मेट सतोशी इन 1990 ऐसा कुछ.
To be honest, if you had like those mixed colored hair and ear piercing, you'd look a lot like Dennis Rodman too.
I know, मैं यहाँ पे बुल रिंग डाल देता हूँ.
Or you can just claim that you're Satoshi Nakamoto, bro. मतलब कि कर दे, तू
क्लेम कर सकता है.
आज तक एक जिंदगी में एक बिटकॉइन नहीं खरीदा मैंने, बट आई एम सटोशी नाकामोटो.
मैं अपनी कीज भूल गया.
बिटकॉइन बनाने के बाद ही मैं खुद की कीज भूल गया. ठीक है,
मैंने पेपर में लिख के कहीं छोड़ दिया था.
या सो ऑब्वियसली यस, देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ रूमर्स सर्कुलेटिंग. तो सबसे पहले तो ये देख लेते हैं कि वो रूमर्स या फैक्ट्स जो चीजें मेंशन हुई है एप्स्टीन फाइल्स में अबाउट दिस इंडस्ट्री, वो क्या है. सो 1 second, can you see this? Right?
Oh yes.
So these are some of the things that were mentioned in the Epstein files. That Epstein held a financial stake in Coinbase. Epstein donated funds to MIT's digital currency initiative, paying Bitcoin's co-developers. He claimed that there were claims that he controls major crypto exchanges. Then Epstein-linked entities participated in Blockstream's seed round. Where Epstein's file contain 2010 era social mentions of Michael Saylor, of course. Rumors suggest that Epstein wrote Bitcoin's code or inserted backdoors for intelligence agencies. फिर और भी speculation है कि that link, obviously like I said, कि कहीं Epstein Satoshi Nakamoto तो नहीं है. But there were some claims that suggested that Epstein influenced Michael Saylor's Bitcoin strategy. And there are some mentions of Elon Musk and Epstein in context of general tech, leading to partnership and claims. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है फाइल्स में mentioned है about BTC और general crypto related stuff. तो नरकुंडी, सबसे पहले तो तूने एक डेटा डाइव किया है कि इसमें से एक रूमर क्या है और फैक्ट क्या है.
So rumor ज़्यादा है because CT lives on it. एंड रूमर पे ही न्यूज़, यूट्यूब, एक्स, ये सब चल रहा होता है. सो फैक्ट्स के लिए तो कोई जगह ही नहीं है, ना तो किसी के पास टाइम है 3 मिलियन पेज पढ़ने का. तो एक कोई QL मारता है ट्वीट, सब उसके ऊपर रीट्वीट कर देते हैं. जिस दिन रिलीज हुई फाइल्स, माइक्रो स्ट्रैटेजी स्टॉक भी डाउन हो गया था उस दिन. फिर बाद में क्लैरिफिकेशन है. क्लैरिफिकेशंस के लिए हमेशा बाद में आता है, उस वक्त कुछ नहीं आता है. सो इसमें से जो फैक्ट है, विच इज़ वेरी फ्यू थिंग्स, बाकी सब कोइंसिडेंट. इवन फेक लोग ने स्क्रीनशॉट डाल दिया था एक्स पे, तो उसमें भी डीबंक हुआ है. कुछ डोमेन्स लिस्टेड थे which were listed like 6 years after the supposed email. तो उसमें भी झूठ चल रहा है. सो nobody knows कि क्या लेंथ पे क्या हो रहा है. बट जो एक्चुअली आया था, that was couple of things. One was the Coinbase investment. So through his investment firm, he did invest $3 million in Coinbase's seed round. So $3 million at 400 million valuation, and he pulled out 50% when at 10x return. That was one. That's everywhere. There's no I mean, you can't connect it to other things. Say, ki, okay, ye hai, that's why this and this and this. Like, this is just purely financial, just like any VC or any investment firm would put in. They come in at a round, they exit at a round. That's one. Second, the MIT funding, the 525K that was given for MIT's digital currency initiative, yes, that did happen and that did support the early developers. Now, उसका ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि why would he support this initiative? The most probable theory that's coming out of this, and after reading some articles, is that it's almost like a reputational whitewashing on his part, and
Philanthropic work, yeah, that's what they used to do. Yes,
to
exactly.
get access to the tech bros, ki, oh, like MIT ke tech initiative mein aap ho, you're involved in some new tech that's up and coming, kya iska purpose ho sakta hai. That's one way. And even when MIT accepted the amounts, they didn't accept in one batch. He first sent 50K and then he sent another 50K. And the grants receiver team, whatever it might be, they took that amount and said, okay, fine, you can give the rest as an anonymous donation, and we won't have to say that, Epstein donated 500K to us. So that is a bit of a gray area for MIT, that knowing who he was, they still went ahead and accepted it. But yeah, it's almost like reputational capital that they're putting in to get access to other people who have been in the tech.
गॉट इट, गॉट इट। ठीक है,
एक चीज
एक
है ऑन
और।
दी, हाँ, बोल बोल।
बोल 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 बोल, गो अहेड।
जो माइकल सेलर का कनेक्शन है, दैट इज प्योरली कोइंसिडेंटल फ्रॉम ए 2010 charity dinner in which Saylor was also involved, and one of the organizers who was exchanging some emails, they mentioned about Saylor. But if you go through the entire records of the documents that were released, there's no mention of him visiting, there's no mention of direct interaction as such. So from Michael Taylor's side, I think it's pure clean. So the only main things are the connections between MIT and the investments that he had made in Blockstream and in Coinbase. But that is just like any other investment that somebody could be doing.
गॉट इट। एक तो एक आई वाज सीइंग दिस इंडियन केओएल हु लिंक्ड कि यार अगर आप देखो तो 30th जनवरी को ये फाइल्स बाहर आई और इनमें सारे
Mm-hmm.
मेंशंस थे, और उसी के बाद 80K जो है वो ब्रेक करके बीटीसी स्टार्टेड क्रैशिंग, राइट? एंड ही वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ लिंकिंग दिस कि दिस इज क्रिएटेड मार्केट में थोड़ी अनसर्टेनिटी, एंड इसकी वजह से पीपल आर लाइक नाउ सेलिंग इट ऑफ। तो ऑब्वियसली हमें, मुझे तो ऐसा नहीं लगता, पर तुम्हारा क्या कहना है, रियलिस्ट एंड क्रिप्टो एडी?
Crypto adding go
Realist,
first.
you want to take? Okay, I'll take it first. Yeah, देखो, uh, in all honesty, yes, the market may have reacted to the news in some way or the other, ठीक है? But in my personal opinion, मुझे जैसे अभी नरकुनी ने बताया कि everything that he जो ट्विटर ने हमारे को उस टाइम पे बेचा, it was all sort of fabricated and exaggerated, और जो ट्विटर हमेशा करता है, जो भी करता है हर बार, right? And basically वही हुआ, and we have always had, जब भी BTC का drawdown आता है, there is something or the other that triggers that price action that moves further, makes it move down, right? Now, जो price movement हम देख रहे थे, remember since the last 3-4 weeks we've been discussing the price action के यार 76, 77 तो BTC ने touch करना ही है. I've been saying those figures for a very long time. ठीक है, but of course उसके साथ there are other conditions also that play in that play their own part in the game, and then eventually वो price effect price के अंदर नजर आता है कि when the price starts to take down. Now, when it comes to Epstein and this whole situation, KR, was he Satoshi Nakamoto and all those rumors, and people speculating that because he's Satoshi, now BTC is going to get banned across globally, and yes, you have to understand that you are talking about the time when Epstein के बारे में ये कोई story बाहर आई भी नहीं थी, right? He was an investor. He was spending money into a lot of things, right? He was investing into a lot of things at that point in time. And like you said, investing into MIT, a lot of these big fund guys, they do this philanthropic sort of donations to MIT, grants where they fund different tech projects. And essentially, the idea is they fund those projects, and if any of them turn out to be promising, they eventually end up investing more into it, into Series A, Series B, and whatsoever, and then eventually make money from it. It's very common for everybody to see that. Um, so ये वाली जो funding थी, that doesn't mean that he is Satoshi Nakamoto or he funded it specifically. Now, if you look at, I mean, he was a mobile man. So if you look at his entire business model, जो उसका था with the whole island and whatever it was, I'm sure he did play a big role in being a facilitator for BTC, and there is no denying to it. Because at that point in time, moving funds, I mean, I've also heard rumors where he was actually, moving funds through कौन सा गेम था वो वर्ल्ड ऑफ
World
वॉरक्राफ्ट
of
की जो
Warcraft,
करेंसी थी एग्जैक्टली उसके थ्रू भी he was
Bannon.
moving funds from, yeah, he was actually moving money, right? So him being a big facilitator in the early days of crypto, I wouldn't be surprised. But that doesn't mean that the core protocol of BTC is bad, right? Yes, at that point in time, तो इसके अलावा और भी बहुत लोगों ने बीटीसी को मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के लिए यूज किया. It was the main currency that was used on the dark web for everything wrong, right? Eventually, of course, you get to clean it up, and then it got a little more mainstream. So just because that has happened doesn't mean that BTC is going to crash now. One more thing that I was looking at is not just Epstein's files that caused this whole thing to happen. The BTC hash rate and the price for mining BTC is also something very critical. Right now, in order to mine one BTC, it cost about what I think 86,600 K USD, right? And BTC was ऐसी BTC 86 से नीचे जाता है, ऐसी वो 80 से नीचे जाता है, it starts triggering a lot of liquidations for these miners, right? Because उनके लिए वो बिल्कुल एक डेंजर जोन में जाना शुरू हो जाते हैं, because what they're doing is उनके जो होल्डिंग्स होती हैं वो उनको भी लेवरेज कर रहे होते हैं, so they basically end up starting to liquidate their assets. So that sort of pushed a liquidation event on BTC, जिसने प्राइस नीचे मूव करना शुरू किया. One of those cases was the Kango, जिन्होंने 4,000 BTC liquidate किया था. Kango, they were the miners, right? The 300 million का BTC liquidate किया था because of the same reasons. They were reaching their liquidation point. Eventually, they had to sort of sell and get out. And then on top of that, now what is happening, all of these BTC miners who are getting affected, what they're doing is they're stopping the BTC mining, or they're slowing the BTC mining itself, and they're allocating that computing power towards AI, right? So that also is sort of causing your BTC price in reality to sort of move slowly and further down. Now, all of this together, like I said, is just one thing that sort of triggers the price to move towards the bottom side. And then all of these things come in and combine attack, and then the price moves much faster. So ये जो हमने एकदम quick drawdown देखा from 80 to 60 was not just Epstein files. It was a lot of factors that were playing, but most of them were in the background, so most people didn't see them.
So I mean, from मैं जो समझ पा रहा था कि जो वो लोग बात कर रहे थे कि ये कहाँ से BTC की प्राइस को एप्स्टीन से लिंक कर रहे हैं. So what they were saying is कि basically ये जो पूरा एप्स्टीन स्कैंडल है, right? It creates an uncertainty in the US government, because a lot of the people in the US government जिनका नाम है इसमें, right? And obviously अभी जो है वो लोग those guys are like either redacting or क्या बोलते हैं, dismissing it. But again, it has created a lot of distrust in the government and the system. And उसकी वजह से ये सारी मार्केट्स क्रैश कर रही है. इस पे क्या लगता है तुम्हारा?
यार देखो, मैं देखो बताऊं, ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग, एंड दिस इज, ये आज के नए यूट्यूब वीडियोस बनाने वाले लड़के जिनको मार्केट के बारे में से आए हुए 3-4 साल हुए, इनको क्या पता. जस्ट बीइंग वेरी
No,
ऑनेस्ट,
no. So
दिस इज ऑन.
this was not 3-4 लोग. This was on a panel discussion between ये तेरा स्कॉट मेल्कर एंड वो डेव, क्या नाम है यार उसका, उसके साथ नहीं करते क्रिप्टो टाउन हॉल ऑन एक्स.
I know, crypto town all the बात कर रहा हूं.
Yeah.
But see, so my take on this is, every time BTC moves down, right? Every time BTC takes 60, 70% hit from its all-time high, people have some sort of narrative that they're playing at the back end. Like, realist is one thing that I like about realist. He's very right about it, is the fundamentals don't change, right? Time and time, the fundamentals don't change. Every time we see the price action move up and then eventually sort of correct, there are multiple reasons why that correction happened, but the timelines and the fundamentals don't really change, right? BTC, if you take out 2014, you had the empty GOX, BTC took an 85% hit. 2017, you had the ICO bubble. People were like, ab khatam ho jayega, idhar sab ho jayega. It took a 78% hit. 2021, you had the mining ban, you had the whole ESG issue where even Elon said that BTC mining is harmful to the world. वो extra heat produce कर रहा है, environment friendly नहीं है, and all of that. BTC took like 50-55% hit. And then you had the whole Ponzi domino effect in 2022 with Terra and Luna. So every time BTC has gone down more than 55-60%, there's always a narrative that's run behind the whole, the whole drawdown. And this time, well, वो नवंबर दिसंबर में AI था, उससे पहले ईरान वॉर थी, आज हम बोल रहे हैं एप्स्टीन फाइल है. So this way, you will always have a reason why BTC is going down, but that's not true, right? These price action that we're seeing right now, the charts were telling us कि ये price इसी तरफ move करेगी. They were very clear. We've said it over and time again कि भाई चार्ट हमें बोल रहा है कि यार ये bear flag बना रहा है, इधर से नीचे जाएगा 77, 76 का, अगर उसने तोड़ा तो it will go even further. We discussed this कि 77 अगर तोड़ता है तो we can choose 62, 63 अभी देख सकते हैं. It went there. So again, I don't see anything different from fundamentals over here.
Got it. Really, sir, one of the things, please. Yes.
ये जो चार्ट की बात कर रहे हैं, जो केओएल का बोल रहा है कि सडनली 30th Jan को ही ड्रॉ डाउन हुआ, that's not true. Like if you check the weekly charts, in November 17th का जो वीक था, November 17 of 2025, उसमें ही the lowest value in that week had dipped below the 100-day moving average. तो वहीं से ही डेंजर स्टार्ट हो गया था. And in that last quarter, precious metals rally हुआ है, and Iran war and all these things. So whoever is saying that 30th Jan को ही suddenly BTC fell and that's why this is the root cause of it, I don't think so. It's pattern already दिख रहा है कि like 50-day क्रॉस हो चुका था, 100-day उस वीक में, 100 वीक का जो था उस दिन क्रॉस हुआ उस वीक में, and now it's getting close to the 200 week moving average. So पहले से ही पैटर्न दिख रहा है and कम हो रहा है. It's not a surprise कि 30th Jan को ही start हुआ.
Got it. Really, sir, one of the things that these guys have been talking about is the investment in Blockstream, right? And Blockstream जो है, what does it do? Like एक थोड़ा why is it critical and why क्योंकि इसके इन्वेस्टमेंट के बाद ही थोड़ा बिटकॉइन पे थोड़ा इसका जो इफेक्ट है उसके बारे में लोग बात करने लगे आफ्टर सीइंग दिस. एंड वन ऑफ द थिंग्स वाज द कोर एमआईटी डेज वाला और दूसरा ब्लॉकस्ट्रीम के बारे में. सो व्हाट डज ब्लॉकस्ट्रीम एग्जैक्टली डू?
As far as I know, I think they're sort of building some sort of infra play. I think around BTC and sort of. I mean, it's basically trying to transact in BTC. I think that's what they were trying to do, and I believe they're pretty old, right, in terms of a company. But I honestly sort of agree with what Crypto Daddy is saying and what Narkoti also mentioned, is that these investments don't really make a difference. Like anybody could have invested in BTC. For example, the entire Silk Road transactions were being done in BTC. I think a lot of drug money has been moved in BTC. A lot of terror funding has happened in BTC. But and all of this code is sort of publicly available, right? So मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि जब तुम्हें पता है कि कोड इम्यूटेबल है, तुम देख के पढ़ पा रहे हो कि कोड में कुछ गलती है नहीं, तो आई डोंट थिंक इन सब चीजों से कोई मैटर करता है. And Epstein files has nothing to do with the collapse that has happened. And what Narkoti just mentioned, the fall has been happening all through January, well through December. Actually, end of November is when that top out phase started. And that's when we saw this silver and precious metals rally. There is that one thing that I sort of disagree on what the common consensus is right now, is that why did the 30th Jan was a flash crash, right? Why did the flash crash effectively happen? Before we move on ahead onto other things, because I didn't get a chance to talk earlier. So that flash crash I mean, the word on the street right now is a big Hong Kong trading desk got liquidated, and what they essentially did was they borrowed in Japanese yen. And if you see, JPY started appreciating from 28th of Jan, right? It started appreciating and it sort of
Yeah.
started moving,
Mhm.
inching upwards. So now the first thing that they did was they borrowed in Japanese yen. What did they do with that borrowed yen? They didn't just take that and start playing around with it. Second, what they did was with that borrowed yen, they bought gold, right? And if you see gold, 30th Jan, gold had, gold had that entire candle
Yes.
of gold was practically the entire crypto market cap, right? So that's how that big that crash was, right? And so they went and bought gold with borrowed yen. Then they leveraged that gold, right? And with the leveraged gold, they went and bought BTC options, right? So they bought call options, and they specifically bought IBIT call options, right? And we've recently seen in the past 3 months, I think IBIT call options पे कोई limits हटा दिए इन लोगों ने, so you can literally trade as many amount of options that you want from one single trading desk, which is these kind of things sort of slipped through सबकी नजरों में से, but this is what happened, right? And they went and bought a shit ton of options. But लोग बोलेंगे यार उन्होंने कॉल ऑप्शन ही खरीदा, फिजिकल बीटीसी तो खरीदा नहीं, तो बीटीसी तो बिका नहीं, तो उनको क्या फर्क पड़ता है? जब तुम कॉल ऑप्शन खरीदते हो इफेक्टिवली लॉन्ग ऑन द मार्केट, राइट? अब तुम जब कॉल ऑप्शन खरीद रहे हो, वो कॉल ऑप्शन मैजिकली तो मैजिक बीन से आए नहीं है, किसी ने कॉल ऑप्शन बेचा है तुम्हें, तो जो बंदा तुम्हें कॉल ऑप्शन बेच रहा है, he is effectively net short on BTC, right? And who is selling you that call option? A call option will be sold by maybe a Goldman Sachs, it will be probably sold by Jane Street, whomsoever. कोई ना कोई कॉल ऑप्शन बना के बेचेगा आपको. अब कोई भी मार्केट मेकर आपको कॉल ऑप्शन अगर बेचता है, मार्केट मेकर कोई भी, सो अ कॉल ऑप्शन इज यूर सेलिंग अ कॉल. When you're selling a call, your profits, so you have a 2:3 odds of making money when you sell a call option. So market makers make more money by selling call options, right? Or selling put options rather than buying a call option, buying a put option. But since उनका 2:3 benefit रहता है on them making money, I don't want to go into the technicals of how selling options are more profitable than buying options, probabilistically. But your chances of losing money are unlimited. You can make a very limited amount of money, which is 66% chance, but the chance of you losing money is lesser, but the amount that you can lose is infinite, where vis-a-vis the amount you can make is finite. तो कोई भी कॉल सेलर, इन दिस केस ऑप्शन सेलर, नेकेड कॉल सेलिंग या नेकेड पुट सेलिंग कभी नहीं करता, वो अपने पोजीशन को डेल्टा न्यूट्रल बना देता है. तो अगर इस हांगकांग ट्रेडिंग डेस्क ने कॉल ऑप्शन खरीदा, मार्केट मेकर ने कॉल ऑप्शन बेचा, तो मार्केट मेकर क्या बना? शॉर्ट ऑन बीटीसी. ही इज नेगेटिव ऑन बीटीसी. ही डज नॉट वांट द प्राइस टू गो अप. बट अगर प्राइस ऊपर चली है तो वो हेज कैसे करेगा अपने आप को? वो जाके बहुत सारा बीटीसी खरीद लेगा और बहुत सारा बीटीसी खरीद लेगा टू हेज हिज पोजीशन. Now, if you connect all the dots of the 30th Jan flash crash, right, you will see that the JPY started going up because we are seeing the new regime change happening in Japan right now, and this is now become a
Election भी
reality.
जीत
And
गए with
we have a
majority,
sense.
so
Exactly, correct. So
काफी
JPY
सारे
was appreciating. The moment JPY started appreciating, their cost of borrowing is now going up because they'll effectively have to pay back a higher sum. Slowly and steadily starts triggering a margin call. Second thing क्या होता है? धीरे धीरे करके गोल्ड अनवाइंडिंग शुरू होती है बहुत ही लार्ज स्केल में, राइट? बिकॉज हमने ये आई थिंक पिछले पॉडकास्ट में डिस्कस भी किया था दैट वाज हैपनिंग बिकॉज नाउ पीपल आर प्लेइंग द डिफ्लेशन बेट. गोल्ड स्टार्टेड अनवाइंडिंग. अब उनके पहले तो उनका एक बोरोड पोजीशन पे मार्जिन कॉल आने लगी, अब दूसरे पे भी मार्जिन कॉल आने लगे बिकॉज गोल्ड योर कोलैटरल स्टार्टेड गोइंग डाउन इन वैल्यू. तो अब तुम्हारे पास बचता क्या है? तुम्हारे पास तो gold started going up in value. The third evidence that we find is that IBIT trading volume spiked, especially option trading volume spiked up like mad during that particular point of time, right? And we are talking about double-digit billions just on 30th Jan. तो होने क्या लगा? They had to wind down their options. अब options अगर वो लोग बेच रहे हैं, वो तो डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बेच रहे हैं, फर्क क्या पड़ रहा है? कोई फर्क तो नहीं पड़ रहा है. बट जब आप ऑप्शन पोजीशन क्लोज कर रहे हो, मार्केट मेकर क्या करेगा? मार्केट मेकर के लिए वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्लोज हो गया, तो मार्केट मेकर ने जो जितनी बीटीसी खरीद रखी थी अपने ऑप्शन को हेज करने के लिए, वो भी डंप करना शुरू कर दिया उसने. So all of this basically created a flash crash sort of a moment, which is basically a margin call getting triggered. Margin call ने Hong Kong trading desk को पूरा निपटा दिया, and as a result, market makers will never keep a BTC long position open because they don't have any reason to be delta neutral on BTC because वो position ही close हो गई. So they also market sold that BTC entirely. And they will market sell. They cannot cascade sell that because otherwise their risk management will go off the books because जो position खुली हुई थी immediately बंद हो गई. So this is the reason why that entire sort of flash crash happened. All of these things are very, very interlinked. और हमें इससे खुशी मिलनी चाहिए because slowly and steadily we are seeing that BTC is now getting integrated into the broader markets, the larger financial markets कि लोग जब अपनी बड़ी बड़ी strategies बना रहे हैं उसमें BTC is playing a critical role, crypto is playing a critical role. And that is how money effectively flows in, right? Money does not flow in because not everybody is like Tom Lee and is like Michael Saylor here. I am max 1000x long, or like trend research. I am max long on a particular asset blindly. So these are guys who will sort of use it as part of different complex strategies from time to time. And that is something that we saw, which is why I kind of feel that what we are seeing is actually healthy. So that's a bit on what happened exactly on 30th Jan. But yeah, the previous fall, like Crypto Daddy mentioned, obviously we've been talking about it. But yeah, it's we are seeing mad rallies across different asset classes, so we're bound to see volatility here as well.
I like one thing you
तो
said,
triple whammy
healthy.
होगा. हाँ.
This is healthy. This is what I also believe. This is healthy.
I mean, this is healthy in the sense for the broader markets, but it's not unhealthy for the leverage traders who are trading with 20x leverage.
वही वो तो ट्रिपल
I
वैमी
mean,
होगा ना. आपने
that way you
Japanese
can. I
yen
mean,
and gold and BTC.
yeah. I mean, that's the sort of risk they're taking, right? That's
Yeah.
playing that
Like I
game.
said, like I said, but पहले भी कि दुख होता है यार because all these people are अपने crypto native people, like ये बाहर के retail लोग तो है नहीं, ये जितने लोग leverage में पैसे गंवा रहे हैं, these are all पिछले cycle वाले अपने सारे, जैसे कि आज you were mentioning in the day to me crypto ID. So yeah, कभी कभी उनको सोच के दुख होता है, बेचारे वो भी पैसा कमा लेते हैं थोड़ा तो.
पता नहीं किसी ने मुझे बोला था, somebody said that three things can make a man absolutely broke, and that's women, booze, and leverage.
But I mean, leverage is good, leverage is bad, whatever. But honestly speaking, this cycle's leverage is far, far more healthier than what we saw last cycle. So
That's true.
I think we are seeing $20 $10 billion of liquidations taking place. I think महीनों में हम लोग एक बार देख भी रहे थे. I think $100 billion उड़ रहे हैं, $200 billion उड़ रहे हैं. But no one's shutting shop, right? So I think the kind of leverage that we are seeing is good quality leverage. It's not unhealthy leverage. हाँ, price action पे देखो किसी का कोई control नहीं है. कोई इस पे कोई बात भी नहीं कर सकता कोई. I mean, there's no head or tail to this. But but like the fundamentals are not moving. Like for example, no FTX crashes happening. No. क्या था वो Celsius जैसा crash नहीं हो रहा है, and all of these like what Crypto Daddy mentioned, like Mt. Gox is not happening. All of these things are not happening, right? So leverage will be there. There is leverage in global markets also. $100 trillion का अगर Wall Street market cap है, तो $1,000 trillion की trade होती है total में, which is 10 times, right? So there is a word for it. It's called 1 quadrillion. They actually came up with a word for it because the size of leverage was so vast in the global market. So leverage is there. Flash crashes do happen. This is not the first time that we are seeing a flash crash. Crypto छोड़ो, ये stock markets में भी हो चुका है.
Exactly.
When we've seen London Stock Exchange crash 50% in a day for maybe 10 minutes, all of these things have happened. So I don't think these things should worry us. Quality of leverage matters, not leverage. Leverage से हम हटाएंगे से बात, मतलब हम इतने liquidate हो रहे हैं, but फिर भी देखो ना पैसा कहीं ना कहीं से आ जा रहा है, और हम बोल रहे हैं क्रिप्टो में पैसा नहीं है, right? So
That's
there
true.
is a
That is
lot
very
of
true.
there is a lot of money, and this money is अब देखो it's सारे उड़ गए. Give it one more week, see the amount of leverage longs that are going to get
Oh
built up
yes,
all over again.
of course, of course,
So,
of course.
look at leverage short positions. Look at short leverage. अभी leverage इतना skew अभी short side पे, वो भी देख लो. कहाँ से हटाओगे ये सब?
What happened with exactly with trend research?
Trend research का भी यही था. They basically, I think, collateralized ETH, right? And with so they had maybe $100 million. I don't know the exact figures, or I think a lot more. I think they had about $1 billion or of sorts. And then they collateralized that ETH. They got USDT against it. And with that USDT, they went and bought more ETH. So it was basically ETH on top of ETH, right? And nobody can stop you from doing it. Like एक बैंक के पास जाके आप ये नहीं बोल सकते मेरे को लोन दो, मेरे को स्टॉक मार्केट में खेलना है, बैंक लोन नहीं देगी. But in decentralized finance, you can do it. And so while ETH was going up, right, in value, their collateral was also going up in value. So they were borrowing more and buying more, basically. And, borrowing, and we know people who do that, right? We know somebody who's done that with
I was
gold
just going
also.
to say that. We know people who do that with gold.
We know somebody very close who's done that with gold also, right? But unfortunately, he didn't buy gold. He collateralized gold and bought crypto. And as the value of gold went up, he bought more crypto, but crypto vanished. Now gold is
Gold नहीं
also
है,
crashing.
वो गहने रखवा रहा है, गहने.
Anyways, like people do that. So that's what Trend Research did. So yeah, and just before we move ahead, I think Blockstream से बात ये पूरी शुरू हुई थी. So in a nutshell, Blockstream in 2 words side chain बनाते हैं ताकि Bitcoin को scale कर पाए and ये vault short होगी like DeFi infrastructure for the world of Bitcoin. That's
BTC,
yeah, but for BTC.
ठीक है, ठीक है. चलो देख लेते हैं थोड़ा आज मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है. Yes, so obviously in 9 months in 2025, Tether alone reported a $10 billion profit. यार Tether से याद आया, इसका भी कोई इसके फाउंडर का भी नाम एप्स्टीन फाइल्स में तो नहीं था? कुछ
यार
था
हो
ना?
ही सकता है, मेरे हिसाब से क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार, है तो है, वो दुनिया के लोगों का.
Exactly, bro.
बिल गेट्स का नाम है, बिल गेट्स का नाम है, तो क्या हम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स यूज करना बंद करते हैं?
ब्रो बिल गेट्स का नाम है, स्टीफन हॉकिंस का नाम है, हम फिजिक्स पढ़ना बंद कर दें.
फिजिक्स पढ़ना बंद कर दें हम कि उसने जो भी बोला वो बातें गलत. वो प्रूव हो सकती है ना, स्टीफन हॉकिंग कुछ भी डीबॉस हो, बट उसने जो थ्योरी लिखी वो इंडिपेंडेंट भी प्रूव हो सकती है ना. तो तुम थ्योरी पे ध्यान दो ना, वो अब पढ़ाने के बाद यूनिवर्सिटी से निकल के क्या कर रहा है, तुम्हें क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है?
Exactly, bro.
So China has told domestic banks to stop adding and begin reducing exposure to US treasuries. ये तो कर ही रहते हैं वो, but अब like
this has been happening for like yeah.
but अब publicly declare करके कर रहे हैं. Yeah.
हाँ मतलब पहले भी publicly declare नहीं तो
I think it's just exaggerating it. Correct.
हर 2 साल में भाई चाइना के US होल्डिंग्स आधे हो चुके हैं, बहुत बड़ी बात है. आधे आई थिंक whatever.
माइकल सेलर ने और बिटकॉइन खरीद लिया है. This time he bought at 78,815 पे, $90 million का. So average price is now 76,056 per Bitcoin. Yeah. ठीक है. Tom Lee ने भी और खरीद लिया है. So he bought another 82 million worth of ETH.
Yeah. I think
at this time, I think I think at this time that was the better decision than to sell it off.
Correct.
So the target था ना 25,000 ETH का.
And that this shows conviction, bro. That's good.
He wants to acquire 5% of ETH supply.
Yeah.
अभी कितना? I think 3% पे शायद.
Total consumer credit surged 24 billion in December to a record 5.11 trillion. This marks the biggest monthly increase of 2025 and the largest since 2023. Wow. Revolving credit, which includes credit cards, jumped about $13.8 billion to 1.33 trillion, the highest since November 2022. तो इनका basically debt तो बढ़ते ही जा रहा है US का, and there is no stopping it. Like there is no stopping it. I don't know इसके क्या solution लाएंगे इसके लिए. कुछ तो करना ही पड़ेगा.
कोई solution नहीं है. कोई
solution नहीं है. It was designed to be this way.
They'll write. You can't pay these loans out. They'll write it off.
Yeah.
Simple. They'll write it off. They'll print more money. And the only way you can beat inflation from that printed money is by buying assets, financial assets. So it's a financialized economy. That's the model. Simple as that. You keep borrowing and don't pay it off. That's it.
Got it.
So student debt पे भी था, right? कि
yeah. Student debt also gets.
Student debt पे अभी recently मैं देख रहा था commercial mortgage rates उनके they are like higher than even what they were in 2008. ऐसा भी कुछ report है.
वो अभी तो सारे एक्चुअली जितने भी मैट्रिक आ रहे हैं लोग सबको वही 2008 फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस से लिंक कर रहे हैं सीटी पे एंड दे शोइंग एवरी मैट्रिक इज अबव कि पार कर चुका है 2008 फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस का एंड सीटी पे भी यही चल रहा है पूरा.
करेक्ट. आई थिंक व्हेन यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग अ 2008 लाइक फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस इट वोंट हैपन लाइक वन राइट. सो
हर कोई माइकल बेरी अब बन के ना सबने हो सकता है कि
मतलब करेक्ट. वो बार-बार थोड़ी बिग शॉट जैसी पिक्चर बनाएंगे अब, तुम समझ रहे हो.
नहीं अब अगर होगा तो वो बिग शॉट नहीं होगी, वो आर्मेगेडन होगी अगर अब जो पिक्चर बनेगी.
I think नेक्स्ट मूवी बनेगी माइकल सेलर पे कि मैंने देख लेके रखा था और ये देख बिटकॉइन भग लिया 250,000 या 1 मिलियन पे एंड आई मेड सो मच मनी. द नेक्स्ट इज ऑन
Yeah,
माइकल सेलर.
yeah,
ठीक है. Trump says
true
Walsh is
that.
not committed to cutting rates. If confirmed, adding they've discussed the issue and he's been following him. तो एक ये हम बात कर रहे थे कि obviously before he was appointed by Donald Trump, वो बातें तो सारी ऐसी कर रहा था कि जो ट्रम्प को सुनने में पसंद आए, but going back on his earlier sort of statements,
धोखा दे दिया उसने.
Hmm.
let's see अब क्या होता है.
ये लो.
ठीक है. US dollar sell off accelerates down 1% against Japanese yen and Swiss franc. Obviously ये भी हमने देखा. Takaichi ने majority secure, like obviously this is the
Yeah,
exit polls, but
Yeah.
majority
Mhm.
secure कर लेगी.
Stock market
Super
rally.
majority, yeah. And Dr. Bottom, Dr. Bottom क्या बोलना, Dr. Profit, the bottom for Bitcoin, the bottom for
दिल की
Bitcoin is
बात.
not in, yeah.
yeah.
The bottom for Bitcoin is not in, and we'll see lower and lower
Oh.
prices in the coming months. For now, we're sitting inside of the sideway box. I explained in the Sunday report. My ultimate bottom target is somewhere in the region of 40s, expected to hit in September, October.
Boom.
And obviously ETFs saw some heavy selling pressure. Markets इतनी खराब जा रही हैं, तो BTC ETFs were like 318 million outflows in last week, 2.8 billion exit over the previous 2 weeks. ठीक है, चलो. यानी obviously the news has turned all negative, or
Of course.
Of
this
course.
is what happens in a bear market. But so have you, are you guys still in favor of the super cycle, या वो तुमने छोड़ दिया है कि सुपर साइकिल नहीं आने वाला?
I am. I don't think कि हम super cycle में थे. I think आएगा. Definitely आएगा. I'm like we say, super cycle को आने के लिए, like Realist said, adoption जिस तरह चल रही है global level पे, how BTC is moving, eventually it will come. And होगा क्या कि अगर वो BTC लेकर, जैसे डॉक्टर प्रॉफिट बोल रहा है, 40-50 पे जा रहा है, राइट, वो अगर सितंबर में वो 50 पे जाता है, वहां से वो लेट्स से 2027 मार्च अप्रैल में it moves back to, let's say, 150, 160, or maybe 200. What do you call it? You call it a super cycle. You're doing 4x on BTC, and alts are going to move accordingly. So you see that happen. I mean, it's just a matter of time, I think.
BTC just did
We are still very optimistic about it.
it won't be called super cycle अगर 4x आता है. BTC just did an 8x in this cycle and nobody's
Correct.
calling it a super cycle.
Yeah, so
So,
that's
I
what
think.
I
I think.
mean,
yeah.
Go ahead, Prithviraj. Yeah, finish it.
नहीं, मैं वो भी बोल रहा हूँ कि आई एम सेइंग वो 250 वाला जो है ना, दैट यूजुअली होता क्या है कि बीटीसी अपना लास्ट जो भी ऑल टाइम हाई होता है उसका डबल ट्रिपल मारता है. दैट्स हाउ द हैज बीन मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. सो अगर 120 मारा है, इफ यू टेक द टॉप एट 126 दिस टाइम, राइट, that's about what, 240 250k. That's the bare minimum that BTC should move in the next top that goes. उसके ऊपर कितना जाता है, we don't know. राइट, वो जो स्पेकुलेशन है लोगों की 5 लाख जाएगा, मिलियन तक जाएगा, could be doing, it could happen, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what the expectations of a super cycle are. पहले realist तो बोल दे, फिर मैं उसके बाद बताता हूँ.
I think BTC has seen a super cycle. What we'll see right now, which I kind of do expect, is that पहले क्या था ना, that BTC and ETH and top 200 were all interlinked, right? And that money rotation used to happen very fast from one to the other, which is why when the money rotation used to happen, BTC also used to see like bloody 80-90% crashes also, right? And kuch na kuch kahin na kahin fatta tha, whatever, right? And money used to rotate very fast within the sector itself.
Yeah.
I think we will, so the BTC 4-year cycle is intact, right? It's pretty much been proven, right?
Yeah.
But what I think my perspective was wrong on this part is that we've not broken out of the 4-year cycle. The BTC is well within the 4-year cycle because that's how certain commodities have this nature, right? Like, for example, I remember gold followed an 8-year cycle or something like that, as far as I remembered, although all of those things are now slowly and steadily getting broken, but at least काफी time तक चलता रहता है. So BTC is going to follow that cycle. I kind of feel that does not mean that other tokens have to follow the same cycle, right? So I kind of feel that now that BTC has had a super cycle that people are talking about, right? And now people are talking about a BTC super cycle. I think there is a fair amount of distribution that is going to happen, and which is why we are seeing miners relocate from BDC mining to maybe AI,
Yeah,
right? We are
computing.
seeing, yeah, we are seeing BTC OGs kind of selling off quite a bit as well. Although new data now suggests that BTC OGs have been buying again, right? Old
Buying
wallets
again,
and
yeah.
whales have been accumulating again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they've been
anyway,
buying
I'll
again.
still I'll still leave that point aside. But what we're effectively seeing is that the BTC super cycle has happened, right? What we were expecting is that nobody was celebrating the BTC rise because nobody was participating in the BTC rise.
Yeah.
But the BTC super cycle has happened. I think going from a 15K going all the way till 120K, right? That's roughly what about 8 to 10x ke beech mein. So I
8x.
think that's a damn good rally to sort of see, and that's an 8x. So like Nav, you just mentioned 8x super cycle नहीं है तो अब क्या है super cycle? वो भी इतने बड़े largest asset class में, right? Like 60% of crypto market cap has gone through a BTC, has gone through a super cycle, so BTC has. बाकी मेरे हिसाब से अलग अलग टाइम पे परफॉर्म करेंगे. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल स्टॉक मार्केट्स में जैसे होता है, एक स्टॉक अगर परफॉर्म कर रहा है, राइट, जरूरी नहीं है कि इंडेक्स परफॉर्म कर रहा है, जरूरी नहीं है कोई दूसरा स्टॉक परफॉर्म कर रहा है. अलग अलग स्टॉक्स अलग अलग टाइम पे चलते हैं, राइट. लाइक after a very long time we saw the Russell 2000 breaking out, right, or the Russell 2000, like Russell is like very like core American sector stocks, right there. That's not the Nasdaq, right, that's not frontier tech. तो अलग अलग टाइम पे अलग अलग स्टॉक्स चलते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है सब कुछ साथ में चले. सो वी विल प्रॉब्ली सी दैट इन क्रिप्टो, लाइक व्हेन we'll probably see a crypto rally maybe this year in other tokens, because that's how the structures are getting formed, that's how the fundamentals are aligning, that's how underappreciated or under-owned these have been, right? Just for example, gold at the time se rally kar tha, nobody expected the silver rally, right? And silver then hit everyone in the face. Similarly, I think we'll see that in other tokens. So super cycle शायद कहना कि एक सेक्युलर सुपर साइकिल होगा वो शायद नहीं होगा. एंड वो पर्सपेक्टिव हम लोगों को चेंज करनी पड़ेगी कि बीटीसी में सुपर साइकिल आ गया है, जरूरी नहीं है कि बाकी सब में साथ में आना था, बट इसका मतलब ये भी नहीं है कि बाकी सब में नहीं आएगा. बिकॉज वी वर डिस्कसिंग दिस इन द प्रीवियस पॉडकास्ट कि यार गोल्ड के एक एक कैंडल में पूरा क्रिप्टो मार्केट कैप घुसा पड़ा है. तो देयर इज इनफ मनी इन द वर्ल्ड, इट विल फाइंड वन एसेट क्लास और द अदर. So I think we could see maybe some outperformance in the broader crypto cycle as BTC probably touches these levels that Dr. Profit is probably talking about, because that super cycle has ended and that unwinding is taking place. और इतना सारा unwinding समय लेता है, साल भर लग जाता है, 1.5 साल लग जाता है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बाकी क्रिप्टो मार्केट ठंडी बैठी रहे.
Got it.
You want to say ETH, bro. You want to say ETH.
Yeah, बोल दे
I
यार.
You
really
want to say ETH.
yeah, absolutely. Look at my background. So yeah, I really want to, but yeah, that is my bet. Like I said, like I
Yeah,
think
of
Tom Lee is
course.
taking a good call right now, and so जरूरी नहीं है कि सारा क्रिप्टो मार्केट एक ही साथ में सुपर साइकिल में जाए. वो शायद ब्रेक अवे हो चुका है आज के दिन में, right? And now that BTC has played out its sort of narrative, we can probably see that in other tokens as well now.
नरकुंडी क्या डुबाएगा तू अगले? Next, come on. Actually, he's become the oracle, bro. And predict कर रहा है आजकल ये बातें, और जो ये बोल रहा है वो सच हो रहा है. So this is really.
हाँ, जब ऐसे हमने ऐसे पहले भी देखा है कि मैच कर जाता है एकदम. वो ना पॉइंट्स ऑफ रिवर्सल बन जाते हैं यूजुअली. लाइक दे आर एक्सट्रीम्स व्हेन दीस थिंग्स हैपन. देयर कुड बी.
यार मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो बहुत ही नीश मेटा है, विच कुड बी अ 4-week रैली, इट कुड बी अ 10-week रैली, वो आके जाएगा एंड नोबडी विल नो क्यों आया. मीम सीजन हो गया, NFTs का था पहले, प्रिडिक्शन मार्केट्स, हु नोज हाउ लॉन्ग कैसे चलेगा, बट दैट्स नॉट ए something in which you say कि like whole of crypto ecosystem is now starting to build towards it. वो आएंगी जाएंगी पता भी नहीं चलेगा. But if you look at DeFi, like, you know, Uniswap is down 50% on 1 year, Aave is down 50% 1 year, Ethereum is down from, you know, 4800 से. तो इनमें TVL is still in Ethereum. DeFi protocols में TVL है, TVL गया नहीं उनसे.
Damn, are you bullish on ETH?
इससे ज्यादा अब
गुड लक। अगर रियलिस्ट तूने अपनी
टॉमी के
जिंदगी
कपड़े
की
उड़ गए,
सारी जमा
Change your
पूंजी
background, realist.
ईद में
Change your
लगाई है,
background.
गुड लक ब्रो।
सुलाना पे चले गए।
Yeah, I would change my
नहीं,
background right
आई
now.
थिंक दैट अगर ये फंडामेंटल की उस पे आता है, देन दीज आर द एरियाज जहाँ पे आएगा, बिकॉज जो नीश वाले हैं आई डोंट थिंक उसमें जाने वाला है सडनली कि सब लोग बोलें कि ओ नाउ एवरीबॉडी इज ऑन बोर्ड एंड फर्स्ट 200-300 जो हैं वो एक साथ पंप होंगे। दैट्स नॉट गोना हैपन। सो आई विल बी इन दैट वेरी नीश पॉकेट जो एकदम से पंप आके चला गया, or it'll be in something like, okay, now BTC is over. Now let's look at decentralized programmable finance. Where is that? On Ethereum. Uske ecosystem mein kya hai? But when? I don't know.
गॉट इट। ये मैं तो मान के चल रहा हूँ कि
सर्वाइव कर
एक
सकते हो तो होल्ड करो, वरना तो फिर नहीं इन्वेस्ट करो। सिंपल सी बात है।
Ooh,
एक हफ्ते में पैसे डबल तो फिर तो भाई there are other
I was
places for it.
I was anyway expecting 1500 levels in ETH, but yeah, I think that's what happened now.
या नहीं, मैं तो अभी भी यही मान के चल रहा हूँ कि जो एक पहले जो लोग बोल रहे थे कि ऑब्वियसली नॉट इन ऑल ऑफ द ऑल्ट्स, पर जो एक ऑल्ट सीजन विद ईथ एंड विद द होल रोटेशन, वो तो एक पेंडिंग है एंड आएगा। दैट इज
वो
व्हाट
यार
आई
अब वो आना ही आना, वो फाइनेंशियल क्लासेस में आता ही आता है। मैं तो ये भी बोल रहा हूँ, हम दोबारा मीम साइकिल भी देखेंगे।
या
We will
फॉर
see
श्योर
meme coins rally as
100।
well. See, the
या
thing about money is जितने भी लोग गोल्ड में चढ़े हैं लास्ट के फेज में,
या
जो आज के दिन में नेट 20% डाउन है या नेट 10% डाउन है, वो फ्रस्ट्रेट होकर निकलेंगे अभी गोल्ड से। ठीक है, वो नहीं टिके रहेंगे यहाँ पे गोल्ड पे, वो निकलेंगे और वो फ्रस्ट्रेट होकर कहीं और डालेंगे पैसा। फिर वो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, गोल्ड के एक एक कैंडल, एक एक 5 मिनट के कैंडल में पूरा क्रिप्टो मार्केट कैप होता है एक एक
या
कैंडल में। You think there is not enough money? I think the people who are saying that there is not enough money to pump so many tokens, so many tokens are not surviving also. There are
या
only few amount of tokens.
Mhm.
And the total market cap today of crypto is what, 3 trillion? यार 3 ट्रिलियन एक कैंडल में होता है गोल्ड के 5 मिनट के। ठीक है ना,
या
मैं नैस्डैक की तो बात भूल ही जाता हूँ, मैं तो सिर्फ गोल्ड की बात कर रहा हूँ जो नैस्डैक से, मतलब जो स्टॉक मार्केट से भी छोटा है। Right, so there is enough money out there. That money will find something. It's going to happen when we least expect it, and that's what we saw with commodities. Nobody expected commodities to rise. Nobody expected the S&P to just keep on rising the way it's rising, man. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, there is
अभी
enough money in the
अभी
world.
व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि
Is
अभी
what I
तो हम
feel.
बस क्रिप्टो मार्केट के सटोरी देख रहे हैं, अभी स्टॉक मार्केट वाले सटोरी तो आए ही नहीं है। तो जिस दिन वो
Correct.
आए तो इट विल बी लाइक अ
Correct.
डिफरेंट सीन ऑल टुगेदर।
Absolutely. आएंगे यार. No,
या
nobody, like 99% of the world did not expect a commodity cycle that
या
the likes of one that we've seen. राइट,
या
एंड पहले कौन, एंड सेंट्रल बैंक्स कब से खरीद रहे हैं? नरकुंडिया शेयर डेटा 2021 या 22 से खरीद रहे हैं।
Mhm.
22 में लोगों ने बोला सेंट्रल बैंक्स पागल है, 23 में बोला सेंट्रल बैंक्स पागल है, 24 में बोला सेंट्रल बैंक्स पागल है, 25 में बोला सेंट्रल बैंक्स पागल है, 26 में बोला सेंट्रल बैंक स्मार्टेस्ट है। अब यही है। तो आज के दिन में सेलर खरीद रहा है, सेलर मूर्ख है, सेलर लिक्विडेट हो जाएगा। टॉमली पागल है, टॉमली लिक्विडेट हो जाएगा। राहुल पॉल पागल है, लिक्विडेट हो जाएगा। सबको गालियां पड़ रही। अब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं, सी बीइंग अर्ली इज आल्सो बीइंग रॉन्ग,
या
right? Being early is also being wrong, but that does not mean it's never going to happen. Someday it's going to happen, and someday मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा in the next 10 years anybody will be right with that call option, but I'm just
या
saying that money rotation is bound to happen. Yeah, it's bound to happen.
ठीक है।
तब तक ये
Fingers crossed
पॉडकास्ट
for
सन्स
that.
ऑफ क्रिप्टो हो जाएगा।
But now that Mr. Narkoti is positive, so maybe
Yeah,
it's
so
not going to
maybe,
happen. So
yeah, maybe let's
डिले
take
हो
a
गया
10-year
थोड़ा सा।
call option.
maybe we should change the name of our podcast also to
Yeah,
something else.
ठीक है। चलो, thank you so much for joining in. Please like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on, and leave some comments. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining in. Good night.
Adios.
Adios.
बाय।